My soon-to-be in-laws joked that I'm going to have a black baby. I want to remove them from our wedding guest list. This incident occurred a few days ago at a get-together hosted by my fiancé's family, and it is still bothering me. For context, we are all pasty white. My fiancé, we'll call him Ben, and I are in our 20s and expecting our first child. We are very excited, and both sides of our family have been largely supportive. We told our families the news pretty early on, not including Ben's aunt and uncle, Karen and Darren. The main reason for this was that they've struggled with fertility issues for a long time and have unfortunately never been able to have children. Ben told them privately at a later date for this reason so that they could process the news and any feelings that might come with it on their own terms. The get-together a few days ago was our first time seeing them since then, and I am now sporting a noticeable bump. Ben has always been close with his uncle Darren, and I get along with him too. Aunt Karen, on the other hand, is a nasty woman who I can't stand, and neither can a handful of other family members. She's a gossip who goes out of her way to cause problems and start family drama. For me personally, she makes a point to give me the hairy eyeball every chance she gets. I've even caught her pointing at me and whispering to her husband multiple times, particularly during a period of time where I gained weight. This is just scraping the surface. I have no clue where this very obvious disdain for me comes from, as I've always been cordial with her. As a result of it, however, the feeling is very much mutual. Upon their arrival at the recent event, they immediately came over to Ben and I and started gushing their congratulations and asking a bunch of questions about our experience so far. I was, apprehensively, pleasantly surprised. A few minutes into our seemingly wholesome conversation, however, things took a sharp turn when Uncle Darren turned to Ben and asked, "What if your baby is black?" Ben and I turned to each other, stunned to say the least. Darren and Karen were snickering. Ben regained his composure and calmly responded with, "I would love them just the same." I made no effort to conceal my distaste with this joke they made. My face dropped and I did not care to pick it back up. My frown only deepened as they went on about how if we had a black baby, they would be really good at football. I walked away and Ben followed shortly. Sometime later, as we crossed paths with them again in the kitchen, they started in on, "When you have your black baby," and a racist stereotype that I can't say here. Ben pulled us out of there as I was about to pop a blood vessel at the audacity. We were both pretty upset with their behavior, and Ben told me he'd put them in their place if they said it again. I don't doubt that he would have had they persisted. Fortunately, they didn't bring it up again the rest of the day. I have a feeling this won't be the end of it, though. Throughout the event, Karen gave me her usual hairy eyeball, staring at me over and over. I typically turn away from her when she does this, but I was so peeved by her and her husband behaving like children that after the second batch of comments, I started staring right back at her dead in the eye each time she did it. Each time she sheepishly looked away, and after the third time she stopped. It was no surprise Karen would be nasty, but I'm frankly disappointed in Darren. I could tell Ben was too. These comments were so out of left field, and the more I think about them, the more I want to embarrass Darren and Karen if they ever say them again. I know Ben would handle it, and maybe that's the way to go as they're his family, but I want to make it clear to the two of them that I won't tolerate their crap anymore, and actions have consequences. I also want to take it a step further and remove them from the guest list for our upcoming wedding. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. Am I overreacting? Would I be the a-hole for going that far?